We're here today with Senior Account Executive Luke Boicos, who's going to take you through ExtremeCloud IQ, the industry's first end-to-end, fourth generation cloud networking platform. Luke, tell us all about it.
Thanks, Linda. Do appreciate it. So, cloud-driven Extreme. Before we get into it, let's move with a little bit of housekeeping here. This is a general disclaimer, which is pretty customary for vendors as we're talking about some forward-looking statements and some forward-looking capabilities. So, Extreme, as a business, we have a vision, and the vision is to be the leader in cloud-driven enterprise networking. And how long, you ask, is it going to take for us to achieve this vision? Well, by 2023, we will be there. And as the slides behind me are going to show, we are well on our way to achieving this vision and making good on our realization of being the network leaders in cloud. So in front of us, we see a number of trends, many of which would be familiar. Yes, there's a lot more devices, IoT explosions, as they call it. Cloud is driving large amounts of enterprises to move to the cloud and to adopt the cloud. Yes, there's a lot more data these days, and CIOs are investing in security, and digital transformation spends are certainly increasing. But why are businesses moving to the cloud, you ask? Well, there's a number of reasons, 6 of which you'll see on the slide in front. So there's the simplicity, there's the ability to improve service, there's agility and speed, which we'll talk about a little later as well. There's security and scalability. But of late, there's been another trend which has really forced many businesses to move quite rapidly towards the cloud. And that's this, COVID-19. COVID-19 has forced businesses into amazing amounts of digital transformation and adaptation, which would have otherwise taken years. So cloud enables that transition to be a lot easier, it's a lot smoother, and it's a lot more resilient, and these are the reasons why we actually see it in front of us. Now, for those that are familiar with Extreme, down the bottom of the screen here, you'll see a few pillars or a few technology pieces there that would be familiar to yourselves. So there's our edge capabilities, there's our campus fabric capabilities, and our data center expertise. Now, what are we actually providing now? We're providing a flexibility with the cloud. So everything from public all the way to on-prem. And that flexibility is unmatched in the market space. Now, what also differentiates us is our software capabilities. So security and access control, or potentially NAC as you might refer to it, automation, orchestration tools, insights and analytics. Been a big showcase for us for many, many years. For the last 7 years, in fact, we've been the NFL's security and analytics provider of choice. We also deliver wireless LAN to the bulk majority of their 20 stadiums and deliver analytics for the Super Bowl. So that is a great testament to our capability in the analytics space. Open ecosystem, I think, is quite important into this day and age. I have many, many conversations with both partners and end users who don't want to be locked into a specific vendor. So being open enables some flexibility and enables customers or partners to choose best of breed solutions so that they can be always adapting to a customer's needs and provide the best options for their clients. Now, bookending all of the capabilities that you see in front of us is ML, or machine learning, and artificial intelligence, and we're very proud of our service award-winning Global Technical Assistance Center, or GTAC, which is 24/7 follow the sun capability, and it's always great to be able to have customers use that extension of their team to better support their environments. Now, once again, many might be familiar with this slide, but we've actually been in the leaders quadrant for the last number of years. And it's great to be recognized via the industry's, I suppose, premium insight provider in Gartner. Now, this is really some, I suppose, testament to our capabilities in this particular space, and the wireless LAN space is, I suppose, extremely buoyant. And this is where realistically a lot of the infrastructure spend has been these days, in particular as customers move more towards the edge and wireless capabilities. So for the last 2 years, we've been in this particular position. But I think it's actually also important to actually look at when we actually achieve this status. We actually achieved this before our acquisition of Aerohive and our capabilities in the cloud that particular vendor bought us. So I'd be very surprised if come the release in 2020, we don't find ourselves right alongside the HPs and the Ciscos of this world, or actually in front of them, as I'm very comfortable that our capabilities is at least on par, and I would actually say quite in front, as once again, I'll dig a little further in as we go along. So to that end, looking at the cloud landscape, so we have on the left-hand side of the screen here, those that are, shall we say, born in the cloud. And then we have on the right hand, those that are aspiring to be in the cloud. So there's a number of logos there, many of which would be familiar. So what's the difference, you might ask? So the difference is that those that aspire to the cloud have gone quite a way along a technology path in terms of hardware and potentially software. And then they've decided, oh, we need to be cloud capable. So then they want to try and backfill that on-prem capability to the cloud. Now, we were actually aspiring to be the cloud ourselves. And what we actually found was that was particularly difficult. It was cumbersome and didn't allow us to innovate and move at the sort of pace that we really wanted to evolve. So strategically, we identified Aerohive, who were one of the first to actually provide cloud-capable networking to the market, and were significantly advanced compared to the rest of the marketplace. So we acquired that business. So that enabled us to actually get a born-in cloud capability and to really leapfrog and advance our skills extremely quickly. So other players which were born in the cloud that you might be familiar with, which is Meraki, which were acquired by Cisco, and Mist, which was recently acquired by Juniper. So it's not uncommon to actually acquire companies to gain technology and to really advance as a business. And certainly it was a very strategic and a very good move by Extreme to acquire Aerohive and give us that capabilities to once again sit alongside and to advance beyond those which might be recognized as some of the better players in the marketplace. So furthermore, accelerating at cloud speed. So we actually see on the left-hand side, once again, some of the players, and we see the market segregating technology or cloud technology into generations. And for quite some time, we were in a first and second generation technology architecture. And as of recent times, we've moved towards a third generation technology. The most prominent player in this particular space is Mist, once again via Juniper. But on the left-hand side there, you see some of the, I suppose, more major wireless LAN players in the Ciscos and the Arubas of this world. So they sit within this first and second generation space, which once again is not as easy to evolve. It's not as resilient. It doesn't quite have the uptime of those that sit in the third generation, but it is certainly not as strong or as powerful as those such as ourselves, which are actually fourth generation. Now, what is fourth generation, you might ask? Well, there's a couple of salient points there around fourth generation capabilities, which I think require a little bit of discussion. First of all is the data durability. We are classing 11 nines of data durability. That means that our platform is always on. We are classing it as basically 0 nines now, which means that, once again, the system is always on. It's never actually going to fail. Containerized microservices is another big aspect which requires some discussion. What are containerized microservices, you might ask, Luke? Well, containerized microservices are the ability to develop individual components of our cloud without affecting the whole entire platform. Containerized microservices mean that we can provide advancements and product updates at a significantly improved rate. That also means that, once again, it's always on. We don't require those updates and system downtimes that those in the first, second, or third generation require. So that's a real big differentiator for us. Unlimited data horizons mean that we store, if you join up with Extreme today, we will store all of your data history from the time you actually enter into an XIQ contract. That is very unique on the marketplace. Along with the licensing is another unique differentiator. And with the licensing, and I'll just talk to this a little bit more, the licensing is actually what I would call a silver bullet. And what I mean by that is that our licensing is transportable, be it over a public, private, or on-prem cloud, and there is the same single license for any of our devices. And this is unique once again in the marketplace. So we're not going to charge you a lot more because, say, this particular switch or access point is more feature rich like some. It is a single cost. It means it's so much easier for yourself as a partner to consume, to quote, and to work with Extreme. So once again, in terms of some of those silver bullets, so in red, I've highlighted key features which are, I suppose, synonymous with Extreme and not so much with the rest of the marketplace. So this is not a beat up in terms of other vendors' capability. What this is just showing our strengths and letting you as the partner decide what is best for you and what is best for your customers and what is best for your business. Luke, tell me more. Show me what this product actually looks like. We're very proud of it. So at this point, I'll toggle over to a quick demo and give you a look at what this is all about. Okay, I assume that everyone can see the page in front of us. So what we start when we've got product, and those products might be Extreme or Aerohive products. They might also be Dell products. As I said, we want to be open to third parties. Keen eyes among you will notice our Exos capabilities or Exos range of switches, and likewise with our VOS and Wing access points. So simply put, if you want to sign up a product, we've listened to our partners, and sometimes actually deploying equipment is not quite as quick or as easy as we would like. So we want to simplify this. We want to make it easier to deploy, easier to maintain. So simply click on your product of choice. In this case, I've clicked on the Exos, which is our Exos range of switches, and I would simply type in the serial number on the box. And as a previous SE used to say, it's as easy as next, next, next. And that is basically it. Next, 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 and finish. And you've started the process to onboard your device. Once your device is onboarded, it will tunnel itself to the cloud, and you'll get a screen such as this, which will actually show your product being onboarded. From that particular time then, all you would actually have to do is provide a network policy, which you might have actually already created as a template, apply that to the device, and it is good to go. I myself, I'm not overly technical, but obviously I have a level of expertise. I was able to set up my own house in literally 5 minutes. It is that easy to do. So to look a little bit further into the cloud, so once again, I'll go back to my managed devices. Here is an overview of all of the products which I actually have available. The keen eyes among you will notice that we have some of our Exos switches. We have a range of access points, different varieties here. And we also have our Atom devices, which are quite unique as well. But if we're actually to click on one of these devices and look at this in a little bit more detail, we see the product in question. This is an X440 switch. We see the ports which are actually active at this particular time, and we see some critical information in terms of this device, fan speeds, MAC address, IP addresses, serial numbers, etc., etc. Now, I talked before about the data horizon. So I look at this switch and I see the activity over this 24-hour period. Now, if I'm to toggle this down here, I can see that I have a monthly data horizon here at the moment. Now, as I mentioned before, new Extreme IQ customers will actually have unlimited data horizons. So from the moment you sign up with us, we will continue to maintain your data so that you can get hourly all the way up to infinite data horizons, so that you can understand how a product might perform, and you can understand how it might not be performing, and you can actually check up around how that was performing today or yesterday or just an hour ago. That is really unique and quite different compared to other players in the market. Now, furthermore here, this is, as I said, a number of switches which you actually see here. We do obviously have access to the access point, so similar capabilities you'll actually see from an access point perspective here as well. So beyond the actual devices here, we do have ML Insights. Now, ML Insights will give us capacity to better understand how our network might be performing. So if I'm to move here onto our Network 360 view here, I'll actually have a topology view of my particular environment, and I can have a little bit more of a look into or a deep dive, shall we say, into where this particular education environment actually is. And if I'll drill a little further, I can actually get right down to where my technology might be deployed. In this particular instance here, I'm having a look at a classroom. I can see a number of access points which are actually available. And at this point here as well, I can actually look at a topology map too. Recent advancements in the cloud which we've just provided for our customers. So from this point here, I can see a number of access points. They're connected to a switch. If I wish, I could also see, click on this link and see some critical information in regards to this particular uplink to the access points. So as you can see, it's quite feature rich, and these capabilities as of a couple of months ago weren't actually available. This is us developing and us actually moving at cloud speed to give increased value to our customers. So I hear some people going, well, look how robust and how capable is this cloud? How many customers have you actually got? Well, the other week I did a similar presentation, and that particular number on the right-hand side had 1.2 million active clients. It's pretty awesome to see 100,000 new clients since the last time I actually did this presentation. So fear not, all of these dots are all users of XIQ. Now, those of you who are viewing this will notice Australia down there. Now, it's important to note at this particular time here that we have local DCs based in Sydney. So the latency and the ability to use this cloud is significantly improved from other players there which have data centers which are actually outside the APAC region. So that just means we're a lot more responsive. Now, we do certainly have backup databases. So once again, it is always on. Now, if I was to look a little further down here, I can see a whole lot of matrix around the users of the cloud here, and there's a whole raft of information there which customers can peruse at their will. Now, I talked about before our ISO 27001 certification. This is once again unique to us, and what's important to note is that some vendors might claim that they're ISO 27001 compliant, but they're actually typically referring to the cloud in which their software resides. Now, Extreme is different in the fact that this is not just related to the cloud in which we reside, and we're cloud agnostic, it must be noted. So we could be in Google or Azure or AWS. That's not a problem for us and is unique to us once again. But this is actually related to our cloud platform as well. Now, of note is we are GDPR compliant, which means that we are capable of looking after both monetary customers and also the data security which is required against that certification level. So that gives you a bit of a snapshot on the cloud. We can deep dive further into this at any of your leisure. But at the moment here, I'll click back to the presentation and we'll continue on from there. So a glimpse into the future. I'll talk about cloud speed and I'll talk about how fast we're moving. So let's give you a little bit of a look under the hood and a look under where we're actually going. So the Copilot capabilities and the future of cloud networking as we actually see it, these are some really cool use cases here, which I'll just go over to give you a better understanding on where we're actually going. The first and foremost is that when we're gathering a lot of data, and we're gathering, you might have seen before that we're gathering about 5 to 6 petabytes. A petabyte is about 13.5 years of constant 4K video. That is a huge amount of data. So when we're gathering all of this big data, as they actually call it, it enables us to run algorithms and understand anomalies which might present as, I suppose, challenges or operational, I suppose, downfalls for our customers. It could be, heaven forbid, a bug or a product which might be on the verge of actually breaking down. We can determine these anomalies and we can be rather than reactive, we could be proactive. And a few use cases, we have the ability to a customer going, hey, I'm having a troublesome device. So I can literally go to the topology view, grab that access point or switch, for example, drag that into a support chat and start communication straight away with GTAC. That's going to save you from typing in all of that details. I've got a problem with this, and Mary was here and she was there. It's going to absolutely streamline and save you time, and it's going to give you certainly increased support. As I mentioned before, with all of this data, we can potentially give you proactive notification. Hey, we've realized that this particular access point, based on what we're actually seeing in terms of its behavior, we reckon that it's actually going to potentially break in a month's time. So how about we actually give you a notification that you might want to return it now so that it doesn't actually stop. And when that's actually automated and sent to you, perhaps that device is basically ready to plug and play. So these are some of the improvements which we can actually provide in terms of service. And once again, moving away from that reactive nature to that proactive nature to ensure that your devices are always on and always working to the optimum of their performance, and likewise your clients or users are getting the best experiences from your technology. To look to wrap a little bit of this up, why choose Extreme? There's a number of reasons why, and I've certainly covered a fair few of them in the preceding slides, but we're an end-to-end solution provider, which I think is important. Everyone's keen around cost savings, so I've certainly seen how we stack up from both a CapEx and OpEx perspective, and we can always win if required. We've touched on a bunch of those silver bullets, unlimited data horizons. We have a freemium option, so a no subscription option available. ISO 27001 certification, zero downtime. We are able to beat the opposition with this technology. Fear not, we can do it. And we continue to win business day in, day out. Managed service providers among you, I will love working with this platform. Once again, easy to deploy, easy to maintain, and gives you great capability or flexibility across a whole range of partners. But I think this is really cool as well. See, try, and buy. And what do I mean by see, try, and buy is that, once again, we're very proud of our product. We're very proud of our capability, and we'll get behind you as a partner to help facilitate, I suppose, proof of concepts or demos, and help you to close business easily. So see, engage us, understand what the customer is looking to actually do, document that, translate that into an on-prem proof of concept, and give you as the partner the opportunity to manage those objections and close those opportunities. It's a great tool to actually get the product in front of the customers and, once again, talk to your either systems engineer or account executive around how we can help you facilitate such a motion. As I talked about before, fear not. This is the who's who of both Australia and the world's largest companies. We have all of the references. We have a myriad of happy customers. Do not hesitate to reach out to us for any references if required. Now, keen eyes amongst you will see that I have a t-shirt on which states something like customer-driven networking. That is actually our old tagline, and now we are asking you as a partner to advance with us. Thanks so much for your time today. I'll pass you back to Linda.
Thanks, Luke. Guys, as Luke has said, if you're interested in finding out more about ExtremeCloud IQ or just discussing cloud networking in general, do reach out to our partner business manager or your account executive team. And you can also find out more on our website, of course, au.extremenetworks.com. And we'd love to have a discussion. So thank you for your time today, Luke, and hope this has been useful. Bye-bye.
Cheers.